purpose? To disseminate information, right? Even if you don't want to admit it, I'm going to tell you, yes, you are doing that. Unconsciously, obviously. Okay? You are disseminating information. Guess what, guys? This is what I call the clutter effect. Again, as I've said, back in those days, we receive information, fine. But now, do you know that we are receiving approximately 30,000 marketing messages a day? And we will go crazy, if we actually... And best part is this, our human brain is so smart that it actually evolved. And there's such a thing called RAS, Reticular Activation System. It stays somewhere in the amygdala where it filters information naturally. Now for ladies, if you walk around the street, you hardly see any pregnant people, right? Not just ladies, guys as well. You hardly see any pregnant ladies, right? But if your wife or yourself is pregnant, suddenly you see everywhere also pregnant ladies. Is it? Why? Because this activation system filters information that is not relevant to us. Right? The moment it becomes relevant to us, it opens up already. So you are driving along the road happily. You never see any Range Rovers, hardly. The moment you are in the market to buy a Range Rover, suddenly you see a lot of Range Rover that you wanted to buy. Make sense? Why? Because it becomes relevant to you. But previously, why didn't you realize? Because it's being filtered. Make sense? So guys, you keep on disseminating information. Disseminate. You're only wasting your money, wasting your time. Because it's being filtered out already, automatically. They don't even have to make an effort to filter it. Unfortunately, most people are still living. Assuming that you're so clever. Now you go beyond, you evolve. Strike information age off your vocabulary. Okay? Evolve into attention. Keep giving information, you cannot get attention, no point, right? So, one up from information age is what? Attention age. Now you are at least better. Now you are able to get attention. But is that good enough? And by the way, probably 90% of business people still live in the information age. Creme de la creme, clever ones live in the attention age. But it's not good enough. Why? What will get your attention? Assuming you open up a website, what will get your attention? Probably some blinking banners or whatever, for example. Get your attention. Really, man? Or you just off it or ignore it. Because again, our reticular activation system also evolved already. Now it filters even more. So just because you have blinking and very luminous colored banners or whatever, yeah, you may get attention. But is that going to help in your business? Trust me, it is not. So let me tell you what you need to do. Again, you need to strike this off. You need to go into engagement. You need to live in the engagement age where you engage with your clients, you engage with your prospects, you engage with your community. Everything needs to be very community based already. So for those of you who is still thinking, hey, I want to do digital marketing, I want to do this, I want to do social media marketing, I want to do this. I'm not saying don't do it, but do it for the right using the right strategy. Your strategy of your digital marketing or social marketing or whatever marketing has to be with the purpose of engaging your audience, not just disseminating information and not just getting their attention. It's not good enough anymore. Does that make sense so far? Everything good? Yes. Can we move on? All right. So what do you need to do? You need to replace the traditional marketing funnel with what I call the engagement funnel. Okay? If you notice, it is still a little bit white top, but not so white. You have to attract instead of sell. You now have to attract. And if you notice, the neck is very narrow. Read my lips, guys. Look at me. Read my lips. Oh, suddenly you look at me, I cannot see. Reach wide, position narrow. Reach wide. Reach wide means what? Reach by mail, reach by Twitter, reach by Facebook, social media, reach by whatever. Whatever your reach is. Position narrow. Don't hantam big, like this. Don't have a white top and spray and pray. Position narrow, but reach wide. Go into attraction mode instead of selling mode or disseminating information mode. Okay, I will share with you how to do that later. And then if you notice, there are no leaks, because why? You funnel them into a a container, so to speak. Okay, and what do you do when they are here? You engage them as much as you can, because they may not buy from you today, or whatever that you are offering may not be relevant to them today, but it may be relevant to them tomorrow or the next month or 3 months later or a year later, whatever. But whatever the case, they are within your community or they are within your engagement strategy, and there's such a thing called top of mind. They will remember you when they decide to purchase or whatever the case is, right? And then you funnel them into the bucket where you get very loyal clients, and you eliminate or at least minimize what we call the buyer's remorse. You know what buyer's remorse is? You know how it is sometimes when you go and buy something from a shop and then you thought that it was a really good buy, and then you go home like, regret, buy already regret, can I return or something. That's called buyer's remorse, right? So you will minimize all this buyer's remorse and whatnot. Okay? And then if you notice, this is a very important thing. It is called the referral feeder system. And by the way, in case you didn't know, did you know that 91% of clients are more than happy to give you a referral? 91% are more than happy to give you a referral. But less than 10% of salespeople ask for a referral. Isn't that a very proportion equation here? They want to give you, but you didn't ask. Okay? So anyway, it's a referral feeder system, which means that it's perpetually feeding. Alright? So think about this. So you have to replace your traditional funnel to this funnel. Before we go for a break, let's talk about what era are we in the realm or domain of professional selling. Okay? Think about this, professional selling. And by the way, guys, just because you're a CEO or whatever, doesn't mean that you don't sell. Everybody sells. I don't think I have to tell you that, right? Even baby sells. Everybody sells. All right? Doctor, lawyer, professional, you have to sell. You cannot sell. What's the... Okay? So let's just very generally describe all of us here in the room as professional salespeople. Okay? What era are we in? Back in those days, we were in the pre-choice era. What is pre-choice? That means you have no choice, right? So, you are the only game in town. And if I were to use a conversation to describe this era, it would be like this. A buyer walks into a shop and the seller says, hey, this is what I have, take it. Or this best describes the pre-choice era. Are we good? After that, did it last very long? It didn't last very long, right? Why? Because of technology advancement and whatnot, manufacturing increased. All of a sudden, you have choices and options multiplied, right? Communications became better. You are able to disseminate information. Local players suddenly became regional players. Regional players suddenly became global players. So now all of a sudden, you have tons and tons of options and choice. You cannot say that, take it or leave it lah. Oh, you're going to die, man. So what do you need to do? You need to now change the way you sell. True? So what did they do? They started adding features. So this is what I call the feature-based era. Now suddenly you started adding a lot of features into your products or services. I call it the bells and whistles. Okay, so you put in a lot of bells or whistles. So one apparatus, wow, suddenly I have so many things, many features. So they started competing on features. And if describe it as a conversation, hey, dude, I have the blue one, I have the red one, and I have the one with lights. And if I were you, I would choose or take the one with lights. So this is probably the conversation that you're going to be having. So they started having tons and tons of features, adding on a lot of features, a lot of features, a lot of features, a lot of features. Now think about this, guys. When you keep on adding a lot of features and add-ons, what happens is that your expenses goes up, right? Your cost goes up, right? True? And at some point, everybody is going to have the one with lights also, not just you, So now everybody have the one with lights. Then how? So how are you going to differentiate yourself? The one and only way is to reduce your price. So now you started to sell cheaper. Oh, I have the red and the blue and the one with lights. So does the one at the end of the street, but mine cheaper. Oh, then you differentiated yourself already. So after a while, everybody started to do the same thing. Selling cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper while your cost goes up and up and up and up. Is that a viable business model? No, right? So then they decided, hey, this is not going to work either. Now we got to change and transform the way we sell again. And how do we do that? I tell you what, let's blue ocean this thing. Let's now reduce the number of features. We only focus on a few. And this is what I call the needs-based era. And in some parts of the world, we call it consultative selling. Oh, like very big word, right? Consultative selling, where I match the needs, right? I target my market and I match the need. Now I started doing client selection. I only target, I don't spray and pray really, I target and I match the need. And your conversation will probably go something like this. So what do you need? Oh, I have it. Oh, you need ABC. I have ABC. Exactly what you need. When can I deliver? So what happens if it's not a match? Then you move on. You don't waste time. So you move on. So earlier I said pre-choice. Advantage to who? Advantage to seller or buyer? Advantage to seller, right? Feature era. Advantage to who? Buyer, right? This needs-based advantage, right? Wrong. I got a lot of trick questions on, by the way. Okay? Wrong. Seemingly it is advantage to seller, buyer. But it's not. You know why? Because it doesn't solve a problem. Right? So if my thing that I have don't meet your criteria or don't match, no problem is solved. Correct? So what do we need to do? Now, humor me for a little bit. What do we need to do? We need to now evolve, right? I use this word very carefully, evolve. Did I say change? Why didn't I say change? And by the way, in case you didn't know, I am somebody who is very, very particular with the choice. If you change, by definition, what is it? You are just fixing the past. If you transform or you evolve, you are shaping the future. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. We must evolve, we must transform completely to what I call collaborative based selling or partnership based selling. Okay, now very quickly, as I've said, do not change, evolve or transform. Why? A butterfly is an evolution, not a better caterpillar. So if you become a better caterpillar, how? You can move faster. You're still a caterpillar. So you need to transform or evolve into a butterfly. So my point here is this: do not. I mean, worse is if you are still in the pre-choice era, you have to evolve already, because the marketplace has already evolved. The mindset of your consumers have already evolved. And if you did not evolve along, I don't have to tell you what's the result. Why do you think a lot of people are still struggling? Remember I said I opened with the infinite loop? Why do you think they are still in the infinite loop? Because they are still living in the prehistoric eras, you know. They're still living in the information age. They're still living in the needs-based or feature-based